All right, folks, I just finished laminating two new boards designed for the flat water surfing technique that I've developed and am pioneering. Now, I'm hoping that more people will get involved in this, but I realize that most kiteboarders are really afraid of their kites. They're really intimidated by the power of their kites. And so very few people uh, are interested in power looping their kites, flying them from high and then diving the kite down through the power zone, because that's what I do, and that creates this incredible acceleration. And that's why I call it flat water surfing, because the acceleration feels like you just dropped into a big wave, like a double overhead wave when the wind is right. And it's just a blissful feeling for an old surfer like me who used to ride big waves in the 70s and early 80s. And I get that same sensation now, but I don't have to deal with any crowds, nobody dropping in, no fighting for position in the lineup. And so it's just a real bliss. And for those of you who have subscribed, I realize now I have 80 subscribers, so I'm excited about that. And I hope that some people may want to try the technique that you can see now that I bought myself one of those 360-degree cameras. It wasn't cheap, it was $500, but I'm getting some decent videos, mostly of my back, but at least it shows you the technique that I'm using and sort of in a perspective where you get to come along for the ride. And so I'm very grateful to all of you who have subscribed, and I hope you can share my videos with your friends that are either surfers or kite surfers. And surfers that want to try kite surfing, there's no reason not to do it, because this is the bliss here. All right, so here's the latest laminations. Now I still need to put in the inserts, and I need to do some hot coating and some sanding and set the fin locations, but that's about it. And I'll have two new boards to try out and let other people try. So if you see me at the beach, just come up to me and ask me, and I'll be happy to let you try one of my boards. But you need to know how to power loop. You need to at least know how to do a toe side carve. All right, thank you. All right, here you see my trademark, power loop. And this is internationally recognized and registered now. Don't know if it's recognized yet, but anyway, here you see me grinding down the laps from the bottom lamination that I did yesterday, and it only takes a few minutes to take care of this. I also use a sandpaper on a block, and now you see that I've cut the glass onto the deck of both boards, and this is a lot easier to do two boards for once, because you only set up one time and do two boards. Here you can see where I use different pieces of glass, just because I'm cheap and I don't like to waste glass. And as long as they're overlapped like this, it's plenty strong. Here you see the resin I'm using. It's a 2-to-1 resin, and this is how I measure it. I do the first part, and then I just do a mental calculation, add the second part, then I'm good to go. And you can see how I wet out the deck, and then I run a little puddle along the side and flap the rails up. And then once the rails are fully saturated, they come down on the side here, just like this. And then I go into a process where I flow using my squeegee, I flow the rails over onto the bottom. And it's a process, it's not that difficult. And here you see the completed boards that are freshly laminated decks. There's one of them. I really like the way these came out. There's a rag, always have a rag handy when you're working with epoxy. I cleaned up my hands and I worked on the second board. And here you see that both boards are done. I really like the wooden decks. I'm gonna go with that. Whenever I do a wooden deck, just go with a clear coat over it. And I end with my trademark. Once again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.